Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. Thanks for hanging out and making us a part of your starts. If you are up and at it, whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online at sportstalk1051.com. Got your Alexa devices, your Google devices, the app, download it, take it on the go. And, of course, the YouTube video stream up and rolling, Man Cave TV. But happy Tuesday, everybody. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? We got lots to get to, lots to catch up on our game plan. We'll talk some baseball. We know the final matchup for the World Baseball Classic coming your way tonight. Venezuela taking down Team Italy last night, which sets up for Team USA versus Team Venezuela tonight for the World Baseball Classic final. Brewers well represented in there too. Contreras, Jackson Chirios, Zerpa for Venezuela, and then Bryce Terang for Team USA. So, speaking of Brewers, we'll continue kind of our countdown of the most. We kicked it off yesterday, but at least in my opinion, the top 10 most crucial, pivotal players for the Brewers, for the overall success for this season, for the Brew Crew to get back to the postseason, maybe even win their division, as we are just a week and a couple days away from opening day next Thursday. I know, depending on where you're at in this world of ours, you're in the Eau Claire, Chippewa Valley area, you're probably looking outside and saying, baseball, are you kidding? But it'll get warmer later on this week and such, and then we'll really get into back to that baseball feeling and mood and such. But plenty of baseball chat coming your way, as the Brewers also yesterday, 24 runs in their spring training game against the Dodgers. That game went on for a little bit. But Brewers also making some moves as they shorten up their roster and such. Jet Williams going down to the minors and that. So, but no big probably surprise there. Yeah, Brock Wilken, Jet Williams reassigned to minor league camp. So, but yeah, yesterday's game nearly went 4 hours. 4 hours. Yeah, probably a good thing that some of those guys have the day off today. So. But, plenty of baseball talk here, including maybe Brandon Lockridge making a late push for the opening day roster, maybe kind of complicating some of the decisions here for Pat Murphy and Matt Arnold and this Milwaukee Brewers team. So what else do we have on the docket here this morning? We're going to chat a little football here, too. If you had to go bargain shopping for the green and gold, of those options that are maybe still available out there, we'll take a look at some of the free agents that are still available out there, and you can look it up yourselves as well. But of some of the options that are still out there, because now we're in that phase of maybe get some bargains, those one-year deal type of moves when it comes to veteran free agents and such. So we will we'll take a look at some guys that are still available that could be good fits for Green Bay. We'll hit that up. But one question I kind of want to throw to a lot of you, because I've seen, after the first week of free agency, you got blog posts, you've got articles, whatever you want to call them, that are out there that are ranking teams now based off their moves in free agency, whether they've gotten better, whether they've gotten worse, maybe staying the same. So, at least on paper, okay, because that's all that we can kind of do right now, but at least on paper, what do you think? How do you think? Do you think Green Bay's better? Let's just put it that way. Do you think Green Bay's better? Do you think they're worse? Kind of looking at their roster right now, looking at the players they've lost. We know they lost Romeo, they lost Quay, they lost Malik Willis, they lost Rasheed Walker, they've added Zaire Franklin, they've added Hargrave. When you look at those additions and subtractions, I guess where are you at on this side? Because looking at some of the national pieces out there, it doesn't seem like a lot of people like some of the moves from Green Bay. Although not everybody. I know Schefter, I think it was last week, talked about some of Green Bay's moves, and he said he liked them. But I saw one piece on NFL.com that had Green Bay ranked 15th and such, and talked about how they got older. And I'm like, but they were still the youngest team in the last couple of years. So I don't know, but curious to get your thoughts on that. You can hit us up with a quick text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Or you can join in on the YouTube chat as well. So we'll talk some football and such. Also, hoops. Bucks back in action tonight, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll see how that one kind of plays out here. But also, they got the T-Wolves in action. The first couple games of the NCAA tournament. I still call them play-ins. I know the first round, whatever they call them these days here. But I got Texas taking on NC State. You got UMBC taking on, who was it again? Is that the same UMBC that upset? Yeah, it is. Howard University tonight here too. So, but don't forget, get those picks in for the bracket challenge. All right. Time's running out. SportsTalk1051.com. Click on that Fan Cave tab. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and get your bracket in. So it is also a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What is grinding your gears? All right, get it off your chest. Let us know. Speaking of maybe feeling a little bit better about yourself, it's our confession day. Forgive me, sports gods. Give me a sports confession that you just got to get off your chest and such. Also, it is I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Fill in the blanks, best ones. I'll read up on the air. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. All right? Think about that for a little bit and send those on over as well. We'll catch up with RJ Cardinal coming up in the 8 o'clock hour as we'll talk some Badgers with him. Kind of take a look at, obviously, the Badger basketball team, and then we'll chat a little hockey with him on the docket here, too. So that's kind of your game plan. We got lots to get to here. So, and I want to hear from you. So start hitting me up with those messages, whether it's hanging out in the Section 105 chat room on the YouTube video stream or hitting us up with some texts on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, whatever the case may be. I'd love for you to join in on the conversation. So let's pitter-patter. Let's get at her, shall we? We'll take our first break, and we'll jump right into it. We'll be right back after these quick words. Pain doesn't have to slow you down. At Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their experienced team is focused on getting you back to doing what you love, whether that's competing on the field, staying active, or simply moving without discomfort. From joint pain and sports injuries to advanced surgical and non-surgical treatments, they provide personalized care designed around you. Local experts, advanced techniques, and real results. If pain is holding you back, take the next step towards recovery. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better every single day. All right, let's open up things here this morning. Let's chat a little baseball, shall we? To open it up, World Baseball Classic's going to be wrapping up tonight. Team USA taking on Team Venezuela. After Venezuela taking down Team Italy in the semis last night, a 4-2 victory. Team Italy jumped out to an early lead, though, but Venezuela with that just loaded offensive lineup, able to hit their way back into it and clinch a spot into the World Baseball Classic final. Should be a really good matchup tonight with these two lineups. I'm excited to watch it in that. So, but yeah, after that, then we can kind of maybe focus a little bit more on opening day, because I think this has kind of just been a nice. First of all, I've like I've said numerous times out, I've really enjoyed the World Baseball Classic. I thought it's been absolutely fantastic. I think it's been great, and I think it's kind of helped fill that spring training. You know, we get excited when pitchers and catchers report and spring training games begin, but then it kind of is like, all right, can we get to the regular season? Can we get to some regular games here, games that matter, games that mean something? I think this has been kind of a nice side, segue sort of thing, like helping fill that void, because these games have been really entertaining. These games obviously matter to the players who are playing in it and such. So it's kind of been a nice little, I don't want to say refresher, but just kind of a nice other option for this baseball season until we get to opening day, which is next week. So it'll conclude tonight, and we'll have a new winner or a new defending champ because, well, Team Japan won it last time. So we'll have a new champion for this year. Should be really good. I'm excited to watch it tonight, and kind of, it's a good prelude to hopefully a very successful, fun Milwaukee Brewers season. The Brewers are going to be well represented in tonight's game. We'll see if Contreras gets a start behind the dish. He did last night, but you had Jackson Chirio consistently getting a start in center field. And that, you got Zerpa, who pitched last night, and, of course, Bryce Terang playing second for Team USA. But with the Brewers yesterday, that was a game that went a while. For Major League Baseball that wants to have shorter games and quicker pace of play and such. The thing yesterday was a spring training game, nearly 4 hours in the Brewers' 24-9 victory against the Dodgers. Officially went 3 hours and 54 minutes. Brewers collected 16 total hits, just a couple of home runs. And the thing is that the Dodgers, they were up 7-0 heading into the top of the fifth yesterday. And the Brewers go and put up a big old 10 spots in the top of the fifth. And then 9 more in the top of the seventh, and just add 5 more insurance runs in the top of the ninth. It was wow. And then you kind of look at the lineup, and remember, they've been like reassigning players and going to the minor leagues and such. So it's not like they played all of their players. Lineup is a little bit, bench is a little bit shorter and such. So you had Lockridge, though, yesterday. He went 3 for 5, including 4 RBIs. And we've talked a little bit about him, another home run for him too, but we've talked about him, off and on. And is he going to make a push for an opening day roster spot? And Pat Murphy, after the game, acknowledged that he was going to, or he's in the running to make the opening day roster. And when you look at how the roster is kind of constructed right now, you're kind of wondering, where does he fit? Because you look at some of the outfielders, it's Chirio. He's your starter. Frelick, he's a starter. Garrett Mitchell's in there. Christian Yelich is mostly DH, but he's going to get you some outfield spots if in a pinch if you need it. And then you kind of look the rest of the roster. Bowers is probably going to be your primary backup at first base, and he can play a little corner outfield too. Otherwise, it's Andrew Vaughn, it's Bryce Terang, it's Joey Ortiz, it's Luis Renfroe. I'm blurring my words here this morning. Luis, we'll just call him at third, and then Hamilton, who's kind of your utility guy in the infield. Contreras, starting catcher, obviously. And then you're just kind of looking at, and then Sanchez is your backup guy. But then it's like, how many guys are you going to carry, position player guys you're going to carry? Because then you've got your bench with your pit, or you got your bullpen, you got your starters, you got your pitchers. I mean, could they carry both Blake Perkins and Lockridge? Is that what's going to come down to for the Brewers? And these guys only have one option remaining. So, I mean, this is a tough call for the Brewers. Do you go with kind of the hot hand right now with Lockridge, with the way he's playing? So far this spring, 31 at-bats, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, 1.204 OPS, 323 average. Or is this kind of another example of, and I'm not trying to knock him or anything like that, but a Vinny Capra from last year, dude who plays really well in spring training, just hitting, crushing the ball in spring training, and then regular season kind of cools off. Hey, that's the risk I guess you got to take. Yeah, they probably know what they have with Blake Perkins a little bit more than what they have with Lockridge after, they just acquired him halfway through the point last year. They probably have a really good feel of what Blake Perkins gives you, mostly on the defensive side, but he's had some big hits overall. But could they carry 2 outfielders on the bench? And does that mean maybe carrying 1 pitcher short? Does that allow them maybe to carry another position player when you look at the type of pitchers that they have, pitchers that could give you some length? Something that we have talked about extensively with this Brewers squad. I think right now when you look at opening day rosters and the roster predictions and projections and such, it's probably, my guess, just in my opinion, I think the last decision or the only maybe decision that's up in the air is between Perkins and Lockridge. After that, it just feels like everything else is kind of set, except for maybe a couple, bullpen pitchers or long relief guys and such. But from a position player standpoint, I don't know where else there is any moves to be made, especially, Jet Williams already being assigned to minor league camp. So, but we're going to find out here soon. Going to find out here really soon. Joey Ortiz, though. Let's chat a little bit about Joey Ortiz, because this is a dude who has, obviously he is a guy that's really under the microscope this year. Offensively, right? We are looking for a bounce back year for Joey Ortiz. And if we're looking at spring training numbers, and he spent some time with obviously Team Mexico and such, but when you look at the numbers that he has done offensively here for the Brewers so far, granted, it's a very small sample size, but in 23 at-bats, he's hitting .435 with a 1.128 OPS so far this spring training season. Yesterday, collected a couple hits for the Brewers. Again, we don't know if this is the version that we're going to get from Joey Ortiz this season. You're not going to get a ton of power, and you're not going to get a 400-plus hitter from Joey Ortiz. We know that. That's not going to be the case. But, man, if we can get 260, what's the bare minimum for you as a Brewers fan? What would be like the bare minimum BA batting average that you would like to see from Joey Ortiz this year, where you're like, okay, that's acceptable, or okay, I'll take that any day of the week? Is it like 260? Is it like 265? Somewhere around there. And let's be a little realistic with this thing, because it's probably not 290. Okay? Let's just kind of keep it in check and be a little bit realistic with this thing. So, and another guy that we haven't really talked a whole lot about in spring training, and he's been having a really good spring training, and he's actually 8th on my list of the most pivotal, crucial players for this season, for the overall success for the Brewers this season. And I'm going to go with Andrew Vaughn. Coming in at number 8 yesterday, it was Sal Frelick and Brandon Woodruff. Today, it's Andrew Vaughn. Because, again, we know it's the same story. Brewers didn't really do a whole lot in the offseason in terms of acquiring power. So they're counting on guys that they already have to kind of, maybe improve or contribute in that category. A lot of talk has been about Garrett Mitchell and such. But what about Andrew Vaughn? Andrew Vaughn, when he was acquired halfway through the halfway point last year, he provided some nice pop, some nice power for the Brewers. Can he be that guy? Can he be that guy where they put maybe in the fifth spot and provide a little power? I mean, go back to that Cubs playoff series, the 3-run shot, big-time home run in a big-time moment to tie that game up. I mean, he had some big hits, King Vaughn. When you look at what he did just for the Brewers last year, let me bring up his numbers for just the Brew Crew last year. Where did it go here? Here we go. So for Brewers numbers, 360. No, that's spring training numbers. It's not loading up here. But while I wait for that, you look at the numbers that he put together for the Brewers last year. It's probably not realistic numbers in terms of batting average and all that sort of stuff. But is it realistic to say, all right, we want like 25 home runs from Andrew Vaughn this year? His projection, at least on Baseball Reference, is only at 16. His BA projection is 253. But last year for the Brewers, I mean, he hit 308, slugging 493, and had an OPS of an 869. He's probably not going to hit 308 this year, although it'd be really awesome. Be really awesome. But you look at some of the numbers that he has done so far in spring training. In 33 at-bats, 364, a 1.083 OPS, a couple of dingers. If he can provide that middle of the order, because if I'm putting together the batting lineup, I've got Sal Frelick hitting in that one spot. I want Frelick as my leadoff. I want him as my table setter. I'm probably putting like Jackson Churio at 2. Then it gets a little interesting. Do you go Terang, Yelich, Contreras, those three for the next, 3 spots, and then is Vaughn maybe your 6th hitter? And is Vaughn a 5th hitter? Regardless, he's going to be in the middle, 5th and 6th. Can he be that run-producing type of hitter? We know he doesn't got any speed. You can't put him 1, 2, anything like that. You can't. So he's going to be locked into that 5th or 6th spot, maybe a little cleanup at times. But can he be that run-producing hitter to get those table setters, to get those guys, those 1 through 4, 1 through 5 hitters across home plate for a team that is desperate for some power help? If Andrew Vaughn can fill that role, help fill that spot in the middle of this lineup, it's a big boost overall for a team that did not do anything, did next to nothing in terms of acquiring some pop in their lineup this offseason. It's been something that has grinded the gears of a lot of Brewers fans over the last few years. Now, maybe we're putting too high of an expectation on the guy, because you look at the numbers that he did for the Brewers last year, and they're great, but should we expect that? How much do we just ignore? Do we completely ignore what he did with the White Sox? And you look at, his overall career with the White Sox, home run numbers-wise. I mean, in 2021, he had 50. 2022, 17. 2023, he had 21 home runs. 2024, he had 19. But you look at some of the other numbers, and then you look at how he began the 2025 season with the White Sox. So it's not like he's been awful. He has put up some decent numbers offensively. And then the other part is how much you factor in. It's the White Sox, a horrible team. I think it's a little bit, I don't want to set the bar too high for a guy like Andrew Vaughn, but at the same time, I think it's reasonable to have an expectation. Okay, let's shoot for maybe a 270, 275 hitter and 20 to 25 home runs. If we get that from Andrew Vaughn this year, I'd be happy. I'd be good with that. Especially if he's going to be your 5-6 hitter in the middle of that lineup. Maybe gets you 80, 90 RBIs, somewhere around there. Just being a threat at the plate because, again, he's got next to nothing speed. So offensively, you need him to kind of be your power guy or to be a clutch hitter up at that plate and a run-producing type of hitter. It's not like you can just get him on base and start stealing bases, turning singles into doubles, that sort of thing. So, but Andrew Vaughn's next because I think on my list because, again, if he can be that run producer in the middle of that lineup, in the middle of that order, then I think it helps solve a lot of the questions on the offensive side of this team. Where's their power coming from? All right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more baseball talk to get to, though. Hit me up with your grind my gears, your Toys at Four to grind my gears. You're also your sports confessions and your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Tax season is here, and that refund check, hey, it's more than just extra spending money. It's an opportunity. So this year, why not invest it right where you live? Upgrade your home with some beautiful new flooring from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether you have been dreaming about, say, maybe some warm, comfortable carpet, or maybe some durable luxury vinyl planks like that Rigid Max flooring, especially maybe some waterproof flooring options this time of year would be perfect for those busy families. Your tax return can go a long ways towards transforming the look and feel of your home. And at Carpet City Flooring Center, you'll find expert guidance, professional installation, and flooring options for every budget. Don't let that refund disappear on little things you won't remember next month. Put it towards something that you will see and enjoy every single day. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Turn your tax return into a home upgrade that you will love for years to come. Carpet City Flooring Center, stepping into something better. Again, the Brewers have the day off today. They'll be back at it tomorrow as they continue the final stretch here of some spring training games here. They'll be taking on the Angels tomorrow. Actually, Angels and Mariners in a split squad game tomorrow. And then they've got the Rangers, Diamondbacks, and Mariners again, Padres, Cubbies, A's, and then we start to really get into closer and closer to the regular season. So, but how many more? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 more spring training games to go. And then they got like the prospects games. So they've got like on Friday, Mariners prospects versus Brewers prospects, then the Diamondbacks that night. And then on Sunday, Brewers prospects versus A's prospects, but they also go up against the Cubbies too. So, but yeah, we're getting close to opening day. It's one of those, I know it's a long baseball season, but I think it's just like, okay, get to this, the nostalgia starts to kick in, and just maybe feel just like a feel good opening day. I know it's just one of 162 games. It's just, I don't know, it's like a feel good day. Spring's coming, summer's almost here, baseball season's back. After that, and then we got like 161 more of those things to go. So, but as we approach a little bit closer and closer and closer to opening day, how do you feel about the Brewers' prospects for this upcoming season? As I don't want necessarily predictions yet. I want to save predictions until maybe Friday on that. But are you starting to feel worse, better, more confident about this Brewers squad heading into the upcoming season? Because I'm sure we're all looking at baseball predictions from the so-called experts and such, and you're just like, I don't know. Like Baseball America, they just yesterday, I believe, put up their World Series predictions and some other predictions and such. And, I mean, it's a lot. First of all, Dodgers representing the National League, which is probably no big surprise for a lot of people. But looking at some of the one thing that did surprise me a little bit, the staff for Baseball America picked the Brewers to win the NL Central. So of all their staff members there for their predictions, they had the Brewers winning the NL Central. The rest of the National League, they had the Mets winning their division. The Dodgers, of course, winning their division. But only the Dodgers coming out of the West for the playoffs, so no wild card teams. Besides, no wild card teams coming out of the West. The wild card teams coming out of the National League were the Cubs, and then two from the East, Phillies and Braves. On the American League side of things, Blue Jays winning the division, Yankees, Red Sox making it as wild cards, Tigers winning their division, Royals making it as wild cards, and in the AL West, just one team representing, and that is the Mariners. So I was a little surprised, Baseball America. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll get on that board. Give me the Brewers coming over there. Why not? I'll admit it. I'm kind of feeling a little bit better about this team, and maybe it's just, I'm putting my beer goggles on or my rose-colored glasses and such, but I don't know. I think, and I know it's a big if, but you can say this for every other single team at the beginning of every season, no matter what the sport is. But if everything kind of works out to plan for the Brewers, there's a ton of talent on this team. A lot of unproven talent. There's no question about it. A lot of young talent. But and we're hoping, expecting, projecting growth from some of the younger players. Can Bryce Terrain take another step? Can Jackson Cheerio take another step? Can Andrew Vaughn kind of pick up where he left off? Can Jacob Mizorowski be the next Paul Skeens? Be an ace of a staff? Can Chad Patrick take a step and be a pivotal member of this starting rotation? What are you going to get from Christian Yelich this year? Yeah, there's a lot of questions. There's no question about it. But if a lot of those pan out and the plan works that the Brewers have thrown out there for this year, this, in my opinion, it's an incredibly talented team that can win the division again and get back to the postseason again. Now, I think the NL Central is going to be tougher this year. And, obviously the Baseball America predictions have just the Brewers and the Cubs going to the postseason. But I think you're going to get a better Pirates team this year. The Reds made the postseason last year. You're looking for growth from them this year, too. I think Cardinals may be taking a step back after they kind of retool everything. But there is some love for the Pirates out there, too. And I can see it outside of Paul Skeens. I think they made some sneaky, solid moves in the offseason, which maybe for Pirates fans, they're saying it's about dang time. Take advantage. If we've got Paul Skeens here for a hot minute, I don't think the Pirates are going to be that laughing stock or kind of an automatic win. Remember the longest time that the Brewers just owned the Pirates? I think there's going to be some tougher games, and there's going to be some tougher series going up against the Pirates this year. And that's good. It's good for the division. Yeah, we want easy games for the Brewers so they can rack up a bunch of wins and maybe win another division and maybe get back to the postseason and such. But make it, for overall the division wise, it's a good thing. All right, we got to take our final break here. Coming up next hour, we'll talk some hoops. We'll talk some football. Packers fans, kind of an informal poll question I want to throw out to you. Because now that we are into the second week of the offseason of free agency and such, you're probably seeing a lot of, well, at least I am, blogs, articles, talking points, content that is now ranking teams after some of their free agent moves. And for some, they're not very high on the Packers. One of them, I was just, main reason was because they got older. Well, maybe they were too young. Last year they were too young. This year now, to some, they're too old because of a couple of additions that they made with Zaire Franklin and Hargrave. So we know this is just based off paper, but based off paper and how the team looked, the roster, what it was at the completion of last year, and you're looking at the roster right now. Do you feel like the team is better, equal, like the same, or worse? Just what do you think? And it's all based off of what we can see on paper. Because we don't know how this is going to work out until we actually get to, September, to get to the fall and when games actually start. But do you think they're better or worse or equal to last year? We'll hit that up coming up in the next hour. We got to take a quick break as we wrap up the final hour. We'll be right back after these quick words. Looking for affordable, reliable auto parts? Well, then start with the experts who know vehicles inside and out, and that's at ASAP Used Auto Parts and Conrad's Auto Salvage, where you will find recycled parts that keep your vehicle running without breaking the bank. Engines, transmissions, hard-to-find components. If you need it, chances are they've got it. Their knowledgeable team helps you find the right part fast, saving you time and money. Whether you are a do-it-yourselfer, a repair shop, or you're just trying to extend the life of your ride, trust the local pros. ASAP Used Auto Parts and Conrad's Auto Salvage. From salvage service, one name that you can trust. So it is a happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you as well. If you are in the Section 105, a little birdie told me too, one of our contributors in Section 105 on the YouTube chat, Digital, it's his birthday. So get on over to the YouTube chat and wish him a very happy birthday. Hey, don't forget, too, you can now sign up for the 6th annual Casper Classic. Just head to sportstalk1051.com sportstalk1051.com or 715store.com and sign up, register your two-person team. These go fast. All right, they go fast. So make sure you get your two-person team. If you are a regular with this, same deal. All right, two-person team, 9 holes, 3 tee times, 7:30, 10, 1. You just pick whatever one you want. You can do a couple of them. A lot of people do a couple tee times as well. So, but all the details, you can check it out at sportstalk1051.com. All right. Don't forget, it is also a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What is grinding your gears? Send those on over. Also, what's your sports confessions? It's a Tuesday confessional. So what's a confession sports-wise that you want to make? And also, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Fill in the blanks. Best ones I'll read up on the air. So I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying was related to Andrew Vaughn a little bit earlier. I'm not saying Andrew Vaughn is going to be a 30-homer, 100 RBI type of player for the Brewers, although I'd like that. But I'm just saying I think he could be a big-time answer for the question that is out there, where are the run producers for this ball club? Who are the guys in the middle of that order that can be, the guys that get those table setters home? Andrew Vaughn could answer a big question mark on this team in terms of where's the power going to come from, where's the pop going to come from. If we get 30 home runs from Andrew Vaughn, I would love it. I would be pumped. I would be excited. But I'm probably going to put it between 20 to 25. I think if this Brewers team could get multiple, they have the ability. That's the thing, too. I'm not saying that the Brewers are going to have a 40-plus home run guy on their team, but I'm just saying they could have multiple guys that could range from 20 to 30 home runs this season. I really believe that. Jackson Chirio's in there. I'd throw Bryce Terang in there. Christian Yelich is in there. I think Contreras could be in there. Andrew Vaughn can be in there. That's 5. I know they're still kind of hoping for Garrett Mitchell to be that guy to provide some power. I'm kind of putting him off to the side here right now. But, I mean, you're talking about 5, maybe a half a dozen dudes. Ideally, 25, 30 home runs apiece. And if that's the case, that's a huge bump. That's a huge bonus to this offense for the Brew Crew. It is, and I'll admit it too. I'm a little nervous heading into the season because I'm excited, but I'm nervous because you've got a young pitching staff outside of Brandon Woodruff. There are some unknowns. But you add in the offensive thing here too. It's like, because how many years have we said, or how many years have we seen this Brewers team go, it's been the offense. They haven't had, maybe some pitching, but their offense has been the thing that's led this team to the postseason and such, like 2018. And then it was the pitching staff. Was it 2021? Corbin, Brandon, Freddie Peralta, but then they couldn't get any offense. One was leading the other. This year, it's like, okay, you got a young pitching staff. Are they going to be able to lead this ball club? You got some unknowns, a lot of projection with the offense, but can they step up and help take off a little bit of that pressure from a younger pitching staff? Yeah, it's okay to feel a little nervous. It's okay to feel a little apprehensive with everything, but if the plan works, I think we know the plan for the Brewers, and if it works, it could be another fun year. At least that's what I believe. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off in less than a minute, so we'll talk a little hoops. We'll talk a little football coming up in the next hour. Packers fans, on paper, because I've been seeing a lot of rankings and blogs and content pieces coming out kind of questioning whether the Packers are actually better or not. So I'll just ask you, do you think, after some of their moves in free agency, are they better than what they were last year? We can only base it off of rosters and what's on paper right now. Plus, let's go a little bargain shopping, okay? As we enter the second week of free agency, who are maybe some bargain options out there for the Packers to kind of plug in some holes yet on their roster?